俺の拳を試すか Come on!
This is gonna be a match to remember. Fight!
Folks, welcome back to another episode of the Slovenly Gamer podcast. This week, returning guest for the third time. Wow, like it's this episode has been this episode has been a long time to make. And the first time he came on, he was just like, coming through the rankings, like bossing up. I don't even think Street Fighter 5 was out yet at that time. We were like talking about switching characters. Came on again. That's when basically the star was rising, right before Evo, and it basically solidified it to me because when we were at Evo together, some dude came up to him and was like, "Yo," and I'm gonna say his name right now so you guys know what I'm talking about. Yo, Jesse, man, I was like watching your videos and like, dude, like watching your videos like helped me win some matches. So this dude is a legit star right now. Like he has fans. He went to Brooklyn Beatdown. He was in a couple of Yahoo videos and stuff like that. He was on my TV, like of the Yahoo esports. It's pretty big, guys. You know what I'm talking about. Welcome back to homie Commander Jesse. Jesse, what's up, bro? Welcome back,
how's
man.
How's it going, man? Glad to be back, dude.
Dude, thank you for being here, man. This is awesome. Now we got a lot to catch up on, man, because a lot has happened since the last time you were on. So the first thing I want to start with, because I congratulated you when I did an episode, but we never got to talk about it. And I wanted to talk about it because I know it meant a lot to you. And I was like salty that I wasn't able to be there. And that's when you won Wednesday Night Fights.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge.
Epic.
That was something that I've always wanted and I've worked hard for a long time. And I put in like countless time and effort to win a Wednesday Night Fights. And I felt like for a while there before I'd won, I got so close. I was getting second, third, second.
Exactly.
People were starting to say I was like cursed. And I'm just like, man, I can't, for some reason, like the gods, like this just not meant to be. The Street Fighter gods want me to win. And then, I don't know, that night was just incredible. Like I feel like I got past Ian Sanity in Losers Finals within a nail biter when he
just
was
recently won, right? Didn't he win
he won last week.
Yeah. So congrats to Ian, man.
He ended season 1 with a bang. So he won his first Wednesday Night Fight. So props to Ian Sanity. He's great. But yeah, I guess when I won, it was just it was incredible. Like I beat Ian and I clutched it out somehow and like pixel to pixel, and then I had to go up against Bushin Style, who was on fire that night, and he beat everyone. He was in winners, and he put me in losers. So I had to.
He reset the whole thing.
I had to beat him twice. So it was crazy. And then that first set I had with him was.
Dude,
down the wire.
Like, okay, because and I want you to talk about this because it's hype and I know it's a conversation. It's one that people are going to be talking about, and like you almost lost it. Like it was very close. You were in the corner.
It's too close. Yeah.
And you messed up. Like I don't know if you can remember. I'm pretty sure you can remember because that was like very intense, and I know it's something you worked very hard to achieve. Like, what was going through your mind at that time? Because like I know, like you guys have played against each other, but like you seem like looking at your face, like you seem like so tense. Like, what was happening when you dropped that combo? Like, what were you thinking? Did you expect something else from him, or was it just an input error or something like that? Because you had him in the corner, and it was just like.
Well, I remember just being really nervous because I'm already uncomfortable with the Rashid and Dawson matchup. Like I feel like he puts so much pressure on me, and I have to do a good job of keeping him away. But when I think he got me with the Fierce, and then the EX Tornado, and then he like messed up the combo.
Okay, I think it was him.
And I just reacted. I think he messed up the combo, and he kind of like. In that moment, I was like, "Oh my god, I have a chance!
I got him
to strike." And so when I got the medium slide into V trigger, I knew that he was going to delay get up. I guess I just knew because he had been doing it for a while to mess up my my vortex.
Right.
So when he delayed got up, I set up my vortex on according to his delay get up, and then I got him in the mix up. And when that happened, I was just like I'm still in this, and looking back when I eventually when I want to look back to the video, I can tell that kind of messed him up a little mentally. Like I think that there was
it
like
shook him. Yeah.
he got shook a little bit, and when I got that, that was just a huge relief for me.
Yeah.
And after that, I was able to win.
Dude, that match, I mean, that was a pretty hype match. And I even had to say, because, you know, I was just like, dude, shout outs to Bushinstyle, man. Like, he played. Like, he played his ass off. And I could tell that match was intense. And how I knew it was intense is because very rarely do you see it, but it was a match where both players were on tilt a little bit. You were on tilt at one point, then he was on tilt.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are... I don't know if like the casuals, they may not have noticed that, but that was like really crazy to me. And dude, like you pulled it off, man. So congratulations. So
thank you.
That happened. After that, did you, it was like the Red Bull and like all these different things start to basically happen. So it seems like you started going like a mile a minute after that. So talk to us about what happened after that, man.
Well, that was huge for me. Prior to that win, I had already locked in the win for that season. I guess it was the fall or summer season of Wednesday Night Fights, and I earned enough points through that season to get a trip to Brooklyn Beatdown.
Right.
And I already was pretty happy with that, but I definitely wanted to win a Wednesday Night Fights for myself, so that meant a lot to me. So I was able to win enough points. I was able to travel down to Brooklyn with Valle. And I was able to compete in the Brooklyn Beatdown tournament, and that definitely changed everything about Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like, it changed everything about who people think I am as a player, who I think I am as a player, and what I could
What do you mean by that? Unpack that a little bit.
Like, I always felt like I was a good player, but I just didn't know if I can actually, like, maybe just beat the best players in the world. Like I had some confidence that I knew I was a good player, but I just fall short a lot. Like I felt like I was not winning on Wednesday Night Fights, and I guess I hadn't made a presence like that.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know, it's incredible when I look back and I see that I won the trip, and then by winning the trip I was able to, do as well as I did in Brooklyn. And so it's just crazy how
what was that like, man? Like, wait, and I think I heard that was like your first time like traveling, getting on a plane or something like that?
Yeah, everything was brand new. So I was like, man, I've never been on a plane before. I've never been outside of California other than going to Evo. I've been to the Grand Canyon, and I went to Utah briefly, but that's it. And it was a road trip, so we drove around. That was a blast. But
you had like
I've never been on a plane,
a week and a half or something like that, right?
Yeah. I was out there for a week and a half. I was supposed to stay there for the weekend.
I remember.
I decided, you know what? I've always wanted to visit New York.
Hometown, man. My hometown, Brooklyn.
Dude, as a kid, I was like, I want to go to New York, get pizza, and go see and walk around and see all the sights. So to me, this was like, even if things don't go well in the tournament, I'm still going to enjoy myself and have a good time. So, and it was a blast.
So how did you feel overall about the tournament, man? And how did you feel about your performance in Brooklyn Beatdown?
I didn't know what was going to happen, to be honest. I was hoping that I would do well. My main fears was that I didn't want to let anybody down. I was this Wednesday Night Fight season winner. I had just come off the Wednesday Night Fights win. I felt like people were like, Jesse, you're representing SoCal. You're representing Wednesday Night Fights.
I was just going to say that.
I felt like I was like, do not tell us we sent the wrong person. So and I'm not, usually that guy. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. But I guess when I got there, Vi was training, helping me out, and then we had some other people come into the room the night prior. We were playing casuals. I was playing with Knuckle Dude. LPN's super cool. I met that guy, and we were hanging out and playing. And I don't know. It was just surreal. Like, and then when I went into the tournament, I was nervous, just like I feel like everybody else was, because there was so much on the line. This was like the one tournament where first place got $30,000. Like, to me, that's crazy. That's unheard of. Like, like majors don't usually work that way. And when I got there, I felt that intensity right out the gate, like before the tournament started. So I was just like, man, no one wants to lose today. Like, nobody ever wants to lose. Of course. But I felt that energy, like no one wants to lose, and I was just like, okay, like just play your game, play smart and do what you got to do. So
now after that, like, you came back. You were on Yahoo Esports, like I said at the top of the show. You did some awesome things with Bizarro Mike. Shout out to Bizarro Mike at Yahoo Esports. You did a lot of stuff with Machinima at SCR recently. I was seeing you were big in them. I mean, you were doing some dope stuff. I don't know if I'm not gonna mention what was going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can or can't.
But. Yeah. But there's a lot of dope things going on. And I'm gonna take a little thing right now because like I called it last time we were on. I was like rising star. You know what I'm saying? Like I called it. I knew that you're gonna be blowing up.
Thanks. Dude.
And we kind of had a conversation about you adjusting to that fame and you kind of like realizing like, wow, like this is like working. Like it's just like you want to be good. This is something that you love, but the side effects, quote unquote, of it is like this fame that can be kind of like overwhelming at times. Mm-hmm. So how have you been adjusting over the last couple months with all like your stardom is kind of being solidified more and more, right? So it's a 2-part question. Like, how have you been dealing with that rising stardom personally and also just being a player? And how does that impact you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you play and your expectations from yourself.
Well, it's very impactful because I know that people do expect me to do well most of the time.
Yeah.
And I try my best every time I play. Like I always go out there. I also have a good time, but I'm also a competitor and I always want to win. And that's with anything. So I try my best to put everything out there. And it's tough because, with stardom and with people seeing that you're capable of doing really big things, if you're not performing, it's tough, and I can see, I'm not a sponsored player, but I can see where that pressure from being sponsored can come from now because these players are expected to,
that's your job,
to represent a company and to perform. So it could be really tough, but I also have to tell myself that you can only do so much,
Right.
You can only like play your game and let the like chips fall where they may sometimes. Like you're not always going to win just because you want it the most or you're working the hardest. Like sometimes you just get outplayed.
Right.
But you take what you can from it and you learn and you apply it and you just get better. And I feel like it's been working so far. Like I've been trying to like level up slowly and it's gotten me to where I am now. So I still continue to play. I still try to compete at Wednesday night fights or go to any other majors that I can and compete there. So it's just
now to the question of like stardom. How is that? Because I remember at Evo, it was like I saw it and it was very endearing because I saw you like the look on your face and you were just kind of like taken aback. Like, so what did that feel like?
I was
having like a fan come up to you and was like, "Hey man," and like I watch your stuff and like. The dude shook your hand. He's like, "Yo, like you're Jesse," and like, how did that feel? And like, how does that feel? Now you're living you're actually living in a world where you're sort of like a household name, and you're becoming more of a household name where people notice you. Like, how does that feel, and how are you dealing with that?
Honestly, that was an incredible moment. Like first when he came up, this was prior to all this Brooklyn beatdown.
Exactly.
But that was amazing. I didn't expect that, and I was so taken back by the fact that he wanted to take a picture and talk to me about how he can improve as a player, and that means a lot to me. I do my best to try to like share information or give my honest advice as to like how to get someone to play better or play smarter or whatever. And for him to come up like that, it was just I was taken back, man. Like I really is an awesome feeling, and I'm so glad that like people are entertained by the way I play, and that, like, I can give them something to look forward to. Like that's a great feeling. Like because it's something I love to do, and if they can see that and get a kick out of that or embrace me for that, like I don't know, it's pretty incredible.
So I mean, I noticed that too, and I like I was like. I remember like walking around and like seeing all this stuff happening and like watching him like, man, I was like, I wonder how Jesse's dealing with this. This is like pretty big. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit and talk about that recently in terms of SCR. Like, and I felt like, I don't know, as much as you can without giving away too much. Like I felt in our conversation as friends, like, was it a little bit jarring realizing the quote unquote penalties of fame? Because I know like a lot of times you wanted to do things, you wanted to kind of like focus on a game or focus on watching friends playing, and then people are like camera in your face and all that kind of stuff like that. So
people were saying Hollywood Jesse for a while. But it's like sometimes it's not something I'm used to. Maybe like I'm I just go to Wednesday night fights. I play like everyone else. I'm not really. So when I guess there's cameras and they're following, it could be a little intimidating. I'm just like, wow, I feel like I gotta,
you gotta be on all the time.
I feel like I gotta be on, or
right.
But maybe it's just something I'm not used to, and once maybe if that opportunity comes, in the future and becomes a regular thing that I could probably use.
Adjust to it, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess right away I was just like, whoa, like there's like spotlight or camera, and I it's you want to relax and be yourself, but at the same time you want to
like what were you doing to stay focused at SCR, because you were very busy, and that's something like I wondered about as like a competitor. You know, you got. Azad was playing, like, the whole, Dank crew was like playing that day. Yeah. Plus you had a bunch of different stuff going on. Like, what was it like for you mentally? Like, discuss that a little bit. Like, what was it like for you mentally trying to like stay focused, but then also deal with that other stuff?
The whole time I'm trying to stay focused on my gameplay and how I have to perform and who I have to play against. And I do all those things. It's kind of hectic because you're like running around and like, oh, we want you to do this or come here, and that could be a bit much. But I think as long as you find a balance, then you'll be okay. Because I think there's certain things that are expected of you if you're a sponsored player or if you're in the media. Like there's things that
you're becoming that guy, man. My moniker for you is gonna be the bearded wonderkin. You're the bearded wonder kid, man. Like everybody in SoCal is just like, Jesse's that guy, Jesse's that guy, Jesse's that guy. And I think rightfully so, man. I think that you're one of those dudes, and I've had many conversations with many people in the community, and everyone's like 100% behind you, like, yeah, man, like he's worked so hard and he deserves it, and we're happy. So, and it's great to see you, like really achieving this and seeing it happen. And my thing is now is, which is the main topic, I think, really in terms of like everything that we do, like how are you adjusting to Street Fighter as a whole? Because as we've had conversations off cast, like, people have been feeling up and down about it. You've had to deal with a lot of mess being a sim player, and you know what I'm saying, and having a lot of quote unquote deficiencies in certain areas in terms of that of your character. But people overall, the community overall, there's like this consensus, like the game sucks. We're all just playing it just because. Like, how has that changed for you? Because I remember, like, the last time we were here, you were kind of like, I don't know. The second time you came on, it was like, and we all had that feeling. Like, it's an open secret. Everybody knows how the community as a whole feels about the game. Right. So, like, but you being, like, one of those top players now and, like, seriously, steadily climbing up there, what's your opinion of the game? And what's your opinion of adjusting to the game over all these months?
I mean, when I first started playing, everything was kind of brand new. Dawson was definitely a new character I was still getting used to, but I had a lot of fun playing with Dawson, and I still do. I still have a lot of fun playing with Dawson. I love his design and everything. When people like compare this game to the old game, it's tough because that's the game that I started. Everything began, that's how I got into the whole scene in the first place. I played in 2008 when it was Street Fighter 4, and I had a ton of passion for the game, and I started going to the arcades, and I started meeting people one by one, and everything just kind of took off. And now we're playing 5 as a continuation to 4. Most of the people who played 4 are playing 5 now, and it's kind of gone in a certain direction. Now we're a little more esports. A lot of companies are chiming in. A lot of people are looking, bigger companies, more eyes. So it's definitely different. Yeah. But it's something that I think we're all kind of adjusting to. And
how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the whole esports thing now? Because like, I mean, you're kind of a part of it now, man. Like, so. Like, I mean, and I know you got to be political. Generally, I like the Slovenly Gamer podcast to be very FGC. We like to be very raw, but you're the homie, and I know certain things that the listeners may not necessarily know. So I know that you got to be kind of political, and that's cool. And that's cool, but as honest as you can be without offending anyone or messing up anything. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what are some of the positives that you're kind of digging about the whole esports thing? Okay. And what are some of the setbacks or drawbacks or negatives without trying to use that word?
I just think that like esports has really brought a lot of attention to Street Fighter that probably wasn't there in the first place. Like before we were, on ESPN or viewed by all these other big companies, the word probably might not have gotten out as big as it is now.
Right.
Granted, I still miss some of the times I had in Street Fighter 4. Like, I had a lot of passion playing Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Even though it was kind of crazy at times, and there was a lot of great moments. Like, I just can relive. And, but esports is definitely brought a lot more attention to the game, which is great, which is something that I'm thankful for, because it might be able to bring new people into the scene. But sometimes some of that raw, like FGC, like pop-offs and characters and personalities is like kind of gone. You know, I feel like everybody is a little more, buttoned up and kind of putting up this like
front a little bit
in a way. Yeah, you know, and it's cool. Like, it's great, but like sometimes I kind of miss like the kid. I miss the
UGC days, kind of
like someone sitting next to you in an arcade and just, you want to beat that dude. Like, it's turned into like a little more like thumbs up. All right, we're good. Like, camera. All right.
Exactly.
And it's cool. Like, I'm not usually one to be like a pop off kind of dude anyway, but it's just something that I was, that I grew up on. Like, when I went to the arcades and
like, yo, you suck, yo.
In, like, you have to make that salty walk back to the coin machine, and everybody was just like, damn, like, that dude is salty. Like, and it's just like I'm used to that. Like, but it's still like, it's something I guess we're all just getting used to, because I guess if it seems like this is the way that
it's kind of going right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, and with that, it's gonna make there's gonna be more opportunities for more players and for this scene in general. So that's always great.
True. That's very true. Yeah, man. I know. I feel like there's like such a mixed bag. I feel like there's a lot of positive things that I've seen in terms of the attention we're getting, but like, definitely I agree 100%. Like, that is the thing that I miss. Like, and the perfect example, shout out to the homie Jeremy. Like, I know FGC vicious, and I feel like sometimes like the last time, like when he did CPT, which we're going to talk about, I felt like a little bit, like I saw a little bit of that FGC Jeremy, and I loved it, man. I really loved it. I was like, yes, like that's what we need right there. I was like, we need that kind of like slick pop off, kind of like, nah, we don't got no time for that. Kind of like, it's like, yo, you got to take that L. It's just like, it's like when you do stupid moves, like everybody's looking at you like, why did you DP right there? Like, that made no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I still get that. Like, I'll be playing, and then Vicious will be Jeremy commentating, and like he's talking like shit. Like I'm his homie, but he's still like, Jesse doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, dude, I know what I'm doing. Like,
yeah. See, but I think like that comes out,
but it's all good,
because there's a relationship there,
exactly,
and like we all know each other.
For years,
yeah.
But it's definitely like it's changed a bit.
Yeah.
The whole
man.
The whole vibe, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I noticed that, like I just mentioned a second ago, like at CPT, dude, it was crazy, man. Like, I know you were busy, you couldn't like make it out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. But I know you've been busy, but like I saw that, and it was like, it felt good being there, and then because like I knew that, much like Evo, much like the whole ESPN thing, it was kind of like, as a community, we worked really, really hard for this, and we all wanted to see it there, and it felt really good seeing it, and it was really dope, man. And it was crazy that a lot of people, and I felt like there's a lot of people who weren't necessarily fans. They were just kind of like, because it was at PSX, and people were just kind of like came in and sat down.
Right.
But I think that day, those who weren't fans became fans.
Yeah.
Because the energy in that building like was really high, and I can tell people were like really into it. And dude, I saw people of all age groups, man, and they were like into it, like sitting, looking, like standing up and cheering, and and like being really emotional, and being in like they can feel like they were feeding off the energy of what I'm saying, like of the environment.
Absolutely.
So
that's another thing I tell people all the time is that like, and I tell them that I play Street Fighter. They don't understand how intense or how crazy the games and the matches can be. And then I'll show them a video of what happened, and they'll be like, wow, this is serious. Like,
exactly.
They'll hear the announcers, and they're just like, wow, you guys are really competing. And that feeling only gets crazier when they're there in person.
Yes.
Because I brought a friend to like a tournament, and they'll be like, "Wow, Jazz, this is."
Which is crazy.
This is pretty intense. I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, this is what we do. Like, we compete against each other. Sometimes we play for big prizes. Sometimes it's just for pride. Like, but we're competitors, We all want to win, and we go at it. So it's one of those things that you have to kind of experience firsthand. Like,
exactly.
You have to be there, or
And I think that's the thing we always talk about. We always talk about how important it is to go to these events and go to locals and show up. And even if you don't play, just being there gives you a completely different appreciation, because you understand these dudes are sweating. They're just kind of like, yo, this match is really intense.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people have to take a 10-second break in between the match, go back to character select real quick. Yeah.
Rethink their life. Like, they're really it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really intense. So what did you think of CPT, man? Did you get a chance to actually watch it?
I did get to watch it here, on and off. And I thought it was pretty crazy. I thought it was some really interesting matches.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the turnout. I was surprised at how things happened. How
America, man,
and Tokido, that was crazy.
America, what did you think of America finally showing up and showing out? Like, what do you think of that? Like,
I think it's amazing. I'm so happy that we had 2 Americans in a Capcom Pro Tour grand final.
Yeah, we are not free. Exactly.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, we're not free, man.
And I'm really proud. NuckleDu is such a great player, and he's so super smart. And he won Canada Cup, and then he won the Red Bull tournament right after that.
Yes, he did.
On a roll. I was like, I think it's his time. He's just on fire.
So, do you think we're probably looking at next year's Evo 2017 champ? You think so? Maybe
it could be. I mean, but
could
here's
be,
the
right?
thing. Evo is so big. Like, it's like the U.S. Open of golf. Like, everyone is allowed to enter that tournament, and it's huge. Yeah. It's huge every year. How many people? Over 2,500.
Yeah, it was almost 3,000 people.
And when there's that many people in a Street Fighter tournament,
there's
a lot of variables. Like, I feel like anything can happen. So you have to have
we experienced that last year. Like, with that, what was it? Like that random Korean? Was it Korean Nash?
Oh no, it was a Korean Cammy.
Korean Cammy.
Yeah. I see, and I didn't know what to expect, and then we had Punko coaching him. I was like, this guy's for real. Yeah. And people warned me. They're like, this guy Verloren, he's good, man. Like, Daigo, I'm like,
wow, it's pretty intense.
I'm like, okay, but there's just so many factors in a big tournament like that.
Yeah,
it's a special tournament.
Now, we know that you've been sticking with Sim. So in 4, you started out with Chun, graduated up to Sim. If some people may argue against that terminology, saying graduated, or you migrated.
I had Chun until AE.
Right.
And then the twins came out, and I was like, can't do this anymore. So I went Sakura.
Right.
And then that helped tremendously, because I could start my offense.
Right.
And then I started to play Dawson for fun and realized that he does pretty well against Shoto. So
exactly.
I just started had him in my back pocket. And then people would tell me, like, damn, Jess, your Sim's pretty good. I'm like, oh, thanks. And then when 5 came out, I was like, no. I tried Shun. I was like, she's just, I don't know. Not my style. I thought she was boring. I didn't fit my style. To me.
No, I mean, no.
You know
that's that's an honest opinion.
They love, but to me, I was just like, I can't.
What was it about her in the difference? What did you notice? What did you notice in 4 to 5 that you were like, man, I don't like. She doesn't feel the same.
It's so weird because I played footsies with Chun in 4, and I would play like. I guess the way Chun's supposed to be played, I would play, neutral, and anti-air, and maybe turtle, I guess, or play lane, but attack when I had to. But I just didn't get that same feeling when I played 5. I was playing her in the beta, and I just started, and people were yelling at me to activate V-Trigger. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, and I was still playing her, and I was just giving it a shot, but it didn't feel right. So I was like, you know what, I don't know. If this is going to be the case, then I guess it is what it is. Yeah. But when they announced Dawson and I saw his trailer, it was just like, I just knew like right away. I was
the mystery of yoga.
Yeah, mystery of yoga. Like he can float in the air and he has a flame carpet. I was like, this is kind of crazy. And like they gave him a beard. I was like,
he's like, of course.
This is it. Yeah, it was like match made. Like it was perfect.
Now, a lot of people may not also know, but when it came over to 5, you also have a pocket Mika, which is RIP.
Yeah, it's ripped now. It's ripped now. I had Mika, And I kind of regret last week at Wednesday Night Fights I was going to use her, and I
noticed that because I saw you you started you actually started playing with her
And now
you're
it's
playing
like
a couple casual matches with her.
You know, I had her in the back pocket and I would play her every now and then. I was just always worried in tournament, but I should have. I think after I'd won the second Wednesday Night Fights, I should have just started playing her at least to the end of season 1, just because I had fun playing with her.
Yeah,
but. Now I'm not so sure.
Rip now.
I don't know.
Dude.
I've heard she's gone through some major changes.
Yeah, she's all right, dude. You didn't see the tweet? You didn't see the tweet with Fudo. Oh gosh, what's his name from Red Bull and Knuckle Dude actually carrying the coffin and somebody put Mika in front of the coffin. The meme is just kind of like, yo, it's
like Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy Fudo. Luffy Fudo and Dude. So I mean, but it's interesting. So I mean, that kind of takes us in, and we're just literally just mentioning this off cast that you just recently downloaded season 2.
Yeah,
on your way here
this morning. Yeah.
And as we're recording this, Wednesday Night Fights we're recording this right now, and I hate to date the show like this, but we're recording this on a Wednesday, and you're about to go to Wednesday Night Fights after this.
That's true.
How do you feel walking into Wednesday Night Fights, not having a chance of touching season 2 yet, and kind of even having even some kind of familiarity with season 2? How do you feel about it, man?
Honestly, I was thinking about it, and I'm a little worried. I mean, when Street Fighter V first came out and I went to that Wednesday Night Fights, I was just playing Dalsum the way I played him in beta and what I think is the way he should be played.
Right.
But I can tell that there was people who already kind of knew what they were doing. And I saw that because they were just climbing up that tournament. I was like, man, they're hitting people with stuff they've never seen
before.
Or they're exposing people for their bad habits.
Yeah.
Like a big thing in the beginning of Street Fighter V was baiting crouch stick.
Yes.
Everyone was neutral jumping. And then every time I went to crouch stick, got hit in the mouth every single time. And I was like, man, these people know that people still have these bad habits. And the next one, season 2, I'm a little worried. I mean, I have not played against the Akuma. I haven't used the Akuma.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get there a little bit early so I could just mess around with Dalsum, see what he can do. I've just been on Twitter a little bit, seeing some stuff that people have come up with. I've seen what Dalsum could do in terms of offense, some changes they've made to him. I know that he's probably going to be played a little bit different.
What are the changes? So since that's your character, and I remember you said that you did take a look at him, what are some of the positive and, if any, negative changes that they made that you, just from your opinion of you playing him at such a high level?
From what I've heard, they nerfed his jumping fierce, or his fierce in the air. So when he goes for his teleport mix-ups, it's going to do less damage. So it pretty much forces Dalsum to use a medium kick. So it means you have to space your vortex.
So I was just going to ask you, how does that change your kind of your game plan? Because I know you have certain mix-ups that you're...
Just from what I've seen, just from what I've read and videos I've seen and from other people's input, it seems like I'm going to have to play Dalsum a little more lane. It feels like that. But I could be wrong. I haven't really... I haven't played season 2 at all, so I feel
exactly.
It's kind of
really guesstimating
fair.
now.
Right now, it's just my estimated guess.
Yeah, and you said something earlier about the float. You were talking about.
I noticed that people are. I saw these crazy videos. I guess Dalsum can float, and then he can teleport EX Gale and float again. And so basically, it keeps him in the air for
forever.
For as much meter as you have. Yeah,
right,
you just burn a meter and you can stay in the air.
How does that change up your game for you?
It's pretty big because I think it means that he can have different setups now. If he can float after EX Gale, that means he can start mixing up with his drill kick probably, or he can use it to time people out. When there's not that much time left on the clock,
right?
You could probably go way up to the ceiling and then EX Gale, teleport, float again, just do all these crazy.
That's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait to see what you do in those videos. What kind of?
I'm just gonna try to implement everything that I know and just like I did in season 1 and try to
So
hold it down.
This is just hypothetical, but let's just say for whatever reason they change Sim in such a way that you're like, oh man, this is just. Is there any other character that you're like, I've been kind of playing around with this character and I may or may not. So
yeah, I've been on my off time, I'll just go home and I'll play casual match or I'll mess around with other characters. But right now, I haven't really found that character that I feel like I for sure would want to play other than Dawson. Like I played Mika for fun,
right?
And I was having a good time with that, just because I feel like it's like, oh, you know, mix up, throw. I was just having a good time with that. But now that that's gone, I don't know if I have another character right now that I have that same drive for that I do with Dawson.
People seem pretty excited about Akuma. So
yeah, I you know, maybe if I mess around with Akuma, I liked playing Akuma in 4. I had a lot of fun doing that, so maybe I'll play Akuma in 5. But there's also gonna be these 5 new characters, and I don't know what they're gonna be like.
Yeah, you know, I actually kind of feel like there might be some people from like rival schools or something. I honestly feel like, and like only I thought about it just yesterday. Because I was watching some streams of season 2, people just doing some season 2 stuff, and I was watching Ultra David. Shout out to Ultra David, he was doing a lot of Bison stuff. So again, shout out to the homie General Azad, and he's very hyped and he's very happy about the pluses that
I'm sure
that Bison has right now. So he's very happy with that. And I noticed the chicks in the background on the beach stage with the boxing gloves from rival schools, and I cannot remember her name. And I know everybody who played rival schools is screaming. As a matter of fact, Eugene, the homie El Trouble, I know he's screaming at me right now because he knows the character. I know he's just like, her name is so and so. Like, what's wrong with you? I can't remember right now. Give me a break. Just let me have it. Just let me forget for a second.
Yeah.
But that's what I kind of feel like. Like, I just kind of feel like they're probably going that direction. Like, I mean, has anyone from rival schools really been? No. You know what? Yeah. Sakura. She was in rival schools, actually.
Oh, okay. See, that's the one character that I was hoping would come this season, because I played her in 4.
Yeah.
And I already played Dachshund and I wasn't feeling it. So I feel like Sakura, who I played in 4, would have been someone that I would have been really excited about.
Yeah. I think they're trolling, though. I think Capcom is kind of trolling. You
think so?
Yeah, I think one of those, I think at least one. I honestly feel like at least one person is going to be someone we are familiar with. And in terms of, I think they're using very loose language in terms of like, oh, someone who's never been in like the Street Fighter universe kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really feel they're using loose language. And it's not like I'm not throwing any shots, but I feel like I feel like that just because of how the game has been delivered to us, and all the stutter steps and all the mishaps that they've been making. I feel like they're trying to use very loose and creative language, very like they're using marketing language to try to get everybody hyped. But I'm certain that there's going to be some kind of familiarity with whatever character we see, because like someone was talking about one of the character might be like one of the dolls.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
So one of Cammy's sisters. I mean, so technically they're right. It's never someone that's been in the in the game, but they're always in the background of the game, or you know what I'm saying? Like we have a passing familiarity with the characters. So if we kind of play them, we might be like, oh, you may or may not necessarily play a little bit like Cammy. It's kind of like with the whole what's her name? DiCaprio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's just kind of like things like that. So I don't know, man. Like it's very interesting. Like, as a matter of fact, let me ask you, like, how do you feel about, because Ultra David did a really good interview, Ultra David and Vicious did a really good interview with Bizarre Mike from Yahoo Sports.
Oh, okay.
And
Awesome.
David basically was like reading Capcom the Riot Act on this game. He was just like, they basically fucked up.
Well, I was telling my friend, he used to play Street Fighter 4 with us. His name's Kilomax. He's he's the first person I ever met in the FGC, actually.
Okay.
So shout outs to him. He's a really dope dude. I was telling him because he was telling me he's not really a fan of Street Fighter 5. But the main reason is because they didn't bring back most of the original cast.
Yeah.
And people are just really familiar with the original Street Fighter 2 cast. You know, people who come in casually to play Street Fighter, they look and they see Ryu, Balrog, Blanca, Zangief, E Honda. Like, they're just used to these main characters, because that's kind of what we grew up on. That's kind of where everything kind of started for most people.
Yeah.
So when those characters aren't in the game, it's kind of tough, I think, for people.
The foundational characters, right?
Like foundational characters that people used to pick up and play. Like, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Blanca, you know, this is someone who mashed lightning and did balls across the screen.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's just a character there because people just want to have the choice to play him. You know?
Yeah. I mean, some would argue Laura is.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, with jujitsu mix-ups or whatnot. I mean, so do you think like that's a thing? Like, do you think that if you had Combo Fiend's ear, right, and you could go back and you saw this early build, would you have told him like, listen, put in the original characters and add new people? Like, if you add new people, because that's kind of like how I feel. I feel it's almost unanimous in the community as a whole in FGC. People are like, yo, dude, put in the old characters and add new characters on top of that. That would be dope. But to give us all these new characters and then change the game the way you did, and basically have the game be changed but also very incomplete. I think they did made too many missteps, so people are kind of like, kind of don't know.
I definitely think the original cast should be in the game. I feel like if they had put the original cast in the game, it would have changed how people view it. Like, that's the continuation of Street Fighter.
Right.
It's a new title, so it's just, I feel like having them is a big thing. And now a lot of people who played Honda, like Miller Time, was forced to play another character. There's no Sagat. It's
I know that's really weird too. You know what? It's like thinking back about it, and like thinking, season 2, as we're recording, is literally just dropped not even 24 hours ago.
And I mean, I got really lucky, like considering, because I tried to play Chun and I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So if had Dalsum never came out and he was replaced with someone else, I don't know if I would have had anybody that I wanted to play.
Wow. Yeah.
That I truly wanted.
Yeah, that you connected with. Yeah,
that I actually connected with. And that's, to me, I like to have that connection with the character. Like, I really enjoy playing that character. I like the character design. Like, if that all comes together, I just have fun.
Exactly.
But it's, it didn't work with Chun, and I got very fortunate with Dawson, and I've been playing him since.
It's weird, because like that's how I feel about Mika. I feel like I tried Laura. I tried, I was playing, the regulars, the stable regulars. And it's funny that you say that, because I feel like a lot of the people, kind of did what I did. I was just like, I don't really know how I feel about all these new characters. I'm going to try Ryu. I'm going to play Ken. I played them. I was like, oh, they feel a little bit different. I'm like, it's interesting. They're a little, a little different. I thought it was interesting. But, my whole mentality was, I was just like, I want to move away from Shotos, because I'm not going to learn anything, because I'm just going to be doing the shit that I remember from playing in the arcade all those years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, and that's not going to be good. And I felt like when I tried Laura and then I tried Mika, I loved Laura, but I don't know, there was something about Mika, man. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is where I'm going to be.
Do you still feel that way though now?
I don't really. It's tough. To be honest, it's tough. Yeah, she feels very different, and I'm a trash player. I'm not, talking like I'm some kind of Wednesday Night Fights champion, or Evo participant and no shit like that. But it's just from my perspective, and I'm not a great player, but I understand the game technically, and I feel like from what I've experienced so far with her, I'm like, it feels a bit weird. I felt like some of the changes were fair reading them, but after having to kind of incur those changes in real life action, it feels a bit weird, and it feels like it. I don't know if it's fair to say it feels a bit handicapping, just because I'm so used to kind of using certain tools that she has, and she has all these available tools that are kind of no longer there. And so I'm very in flux about how I feel about the character, but overall, generally speaking, I'm not happy. And I think I haven't been happy with the game for a while, so I haven't played in forever. Yeah. So picking up the game last night with family members and playing with nephews and and stuff like that, and cousins, and that's when I was like, man, I kind of miss it, but then at the same time, I realized the changes, and I was like, ugh. And it also made me realize that I love watching the game more than I enjoy playing it. Because even watching my nephew play, I actually had fun just watching him play, watching him mash buttons, than when I was actually playing the game. So hopefully, man, hopefully though, with season 2, we can get some real viable changes. Now, I know it's already out, but we don't know. It's a 92-page PDF or something about all the changes.
It's huge.
Right?
There's so many.
If you just had a general swath, right? what are some of the changes that when you pick up that PDF, when you had time to basically read that encyclopedia, that you would personally like to see, that Commander Jesse would like to see while he's reading that? What would you like to see in general changed about the game?
Well, they did a lot of specific changes to characters. I don't know if there was things that I wanted to change personally. There were some things that are frustrating. Like there's things about the game that could be frustrating, like jab anti-airs. Even though I have one, but, it's not one that I rely on usually. You know,
right?
Because it's not something I'm used to. I still do it, but it's not something I'm used to.
Yeah.
So that was one thing, and then the jump shorts on Ryu and Laura were usually a problem for me. So that was one thing I was hoping would change. But Laura, she still has it, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of big things for Laura.
Yeah, she has a pretty sexy mix-up now. Like, yeah, that's pretty sick in the corner.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard apparently she's really good. But like I said, this is all like just from what I read from the PDF file and from what I've heard from other people. I haven't even got my hands on season 2 yet, so
yeah,
it's something that I still got to grind out and find out for myself. Like I'm not even sure how Dalsum plays in the season 2 yet because I haven't gone through the trial and error.
Yeah,
but when I looked at the PDF, I went straight to Dalsum. You know, I knew there was so many pages of changes. I wasn't gonna look through
everything exactly.
So
true.
I just
Fair
went to
enough.
my character and noticed what they changed, and then just kind of put that in the back of my mind. So it made me feel like he has to be played a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Like maybe he has to be played a little more defensive and not as aggressive.
Right.
Which is a little concerning because I feel like my style was more rush down.
Rush down.
Like
RTSD,
I was definitely
man.
getting in and setting up mix-ups, like doing damage. Like I love doing that. I mean, I can also play lame. You know?
Right,
I think
right.
I did that in 4.
Yeah.
Because I was forced to. So if I have to adjust my style, I will. But I'm just... From what I've seen in the changes, it seems like that's what I have to do.
Now, last week when we were at Wednesday Night Fights, you came through and we were kind of like talking back and forth. And you're like, man, I haven't really played in a while. Like you kind of like been away from it for like a couple weeks, a month or so, give or take.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, man? What was the cause of that? Were you just trying to just adjust to like regular life again? Trying to like just catch up with some things?
Just kind of catch up on stuff. And I've been like watching streams and playing at home when I get a chance, and then I come to Wednesday Night Fights.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to keep in there. Still trying to, you know, win another Wednesday Night Fights. You know, play with everyone.
Yeah.
Keep myself in check, basically. But there's things that come up, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, life man. Life indeed. Now, what's next for Commander Jesse, man? Like you've had like a whirlwind 2016, dude. Like
it was crazy. Yeah. Honestly, 2016 changed everything about Street Fighter to me. Like winning Wednesday Night Fights for the first time, winning the season, going to Brooklyn Beatdown, getting on a plane, like meeting everyone, like everything is just so different. King of the Hill.
I was just gonna mention that. I said, wait, almost forgot to mention that.
Like that was awesome. Like I think that because I had done well at the Brooklyn Beatdown, they had asked me to come on the first episode of King of the Hill. And they told me what the idea was and how they'd like me to be a part of it, and I just felt honored. I'm like, wow, I'm going to be there. I'm on the first episode. Like, that's a big deal. You know,
pretty
like
crazy.
Show premiere.
Yeah.
So I went and I was a part of that. I was super excited. It was a little rough because it was the day after my birthday.
Oh
so, I wish I could have played better, but I wasn't feeling that well. You know.
Partying.
You know, it was it was a dirty 30. So I tried my best. You know.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. Everybody at ESL was super dope.
Yeah.
They really took care of us. So
dude, man. Like I mean, like. So when they contacted you, like, how did you, like, what was your immediate reaction?
I was just like, really? Like, you want me to be on the show? I was just kind of like, okay, like, this is kind of crazy. Things are moving really fast. Like, after New York, things are moving really fast. So I was like, you know what? This sounds like a great opportunity. Sure, why not? You know, play with Chris Atarian. And
exactly.
Hang out with LPN and Julio. Like, it was awesome. It was great. That's
great, man. Dude, so, you know, kind of going back a little bit, you know, just before we like kind of got turned off into the side street about ESL.
Yeah.
So what is next for you for going into 2017? Like what is next on the menu? What can we expect from Commander Jesse in 2017, man?
I mean, I had such an amazing time in New York. Like I always wanted to visit that town. I always wanted to visit New York and and see what that was about. And I had such a great time. Like, and it made me realize that I want to travel more and I want to play in more tournaments. And I might not be able to stay out there as long as I did in New York, but I definitely want to like see more and play more and play against some of these, these players that I don't get to play against too often, and be in that kind of environment. I feel like if you really want to get anywhere, you have to put yourself in positions to succeed, and I realized that when I went to New York. Like, you can't stay at the top if you're not competing with some of the best players. If you're not there at majors. I love coming to Wednesday night fights. I love playing in locals, and I come as often as I can. But I think if you want to make the difference and you want to prove that you are this great player, then you have to do it in big tournaments.
Definitely.
So it's up to me, really. I'm going to try to travel to as many tournaments as I can, 2017, and stay up there. And make some moves.
Yeah. So what is it? It's going to be Evo. Are you going to do the NEC or any?
Well, I just saw on Twitter that NorCal Regionals is going to happen in Sacramento again.
Right.
So I'm hoping that I can attend that.
Oh, man.
Last year I got I thought I registered, but I didn't register, so they put me in the death bracket.
Oh.
And I was in there with so many killers. It was me, it was Chris Etarian, it was Mago, it was Marn, countless others. Like, it was super stuff.
How did you do in that one?
I didn't do that well, but I remember I beat Alucard in there.
Okay.
And at that time, to me, that was a big win because I look up to him. He's a great player, and he's a great dude, actually.
Yeah.
So it was a big win for me. But I lost to Mago on stream. So that was in February. And I didn't forget that because he beat me pretty bad.
Yeah.
And at the time, I just was like, okay, you know what? They don't know how to play against Dawson. Maybe I have an advantage. He destroyed me, dude. And I was like, you know what? That's bullshit. Like, they know how to play against Dawson, man. They're smart, dude. They're smart. Like, that's some bullshit. I was like, all right, whatever. He bodied me. And then I guess that's why I felt so good to beat him out in New York.
Yeah, man.
I held that L for the year.
Yeah.
I held it since February. So, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm
like,
gonna play Mago again.
Got you.
I gotta get in his ass. Like, I gotta beat him.
So, as a matter of fact, so what did you do leading up to knowing that you were gonna play him in Brooklyn? Did you study or?
I had no idea I was gonna play him. But as soon as I found out, because I had lost to Justin Wong. So it was a Karen, and I was like, man, if I play Justin again, I think I have to make some adjustments. Like, this is what I'm going to do differently. In my mind, I had an idea. Yeah. And then I went up to Arturo Sanchez, who was super cool. I was out there too. And I was like, hey, Art, man, like, what do you think I should do? Like, I need some help with this Karen matchup. Like, what do you think? What's your opinion? And he didn't even say it. He was like, Jesse, here's a video of me playing Ambu Punk. Check this out. Yeah. He helped me out. Like, he was legit on the spot. Like, check out this video. This can say more than I can tell you. Right. And it helps so much. And I was like, it kind of confirmed what I already believed. Like, this is what I have to do. Right. And I was like, you know what? Thanks, dude. Like, that really helped so much. And then they're like, Commander Jesse, I think Infiltration is gonna play Daigo, and then they're gonna play Mago, and then you play the winner of that. So basically, you're gonna either play Mago, Infiltration, or Daigo, or like someone else. It was like 4 killers, and like Shin. It was like 4 ridiculous killers, and I was like, oh my gosh, like,
wow,
this is crazy. Like, I'm gonna have to play someone who's one of the best players in the world. Like, okay, it is what it is. Yeah. And then they told me Mago had beaten Daigo and Infiltration.
Shit.
And so I was like, oh shit, like, I gotta play Mago now. And he's coming off of this run.
Yeah.
And I just lost to a Karen. I just lost to Justin Wong. Yeah. So I'm gonna play another Karen. I'm like, the odds didn't look good, But I was like, you know what? I lost to Justin. I realized what I think I have to do. Art helped me out. I think I got this. I think I know what I have to do differently, and it worked. And
damn, dude.
Theory and
it just wow. That, like, so were you just like ecstatic? Like, after you just won, you were just kind of like, I knew it. Like, I got you.
I was super pumped. Honestly, I was a big moment. And then everyone chanting USA. Yeah. Everyone having my back like that was just crazy.
At what point in the match?
He was giving me props.
Like, was there any time in the match that you knew that you had him, or were you kind of like,
well, when I got the double perfect, I was excited, but I reminded myself, I was like, you know what, this is Street Fighter 5, anything can happen. I'm like, if just because I got a double perfect doesn't mean that this is over. I still have to win 2 more. So in my mind, I was like, just stay calm, right? Like, just relax, like, just stay calm, keep going, don't think about like win or lose or anything. Just play your game, And another thing on the side, which I forgot to mention earlier, which was really helpful, I have to give a shout out to Alex Myers. Before I had gone over to Brooklyn, and he had just given me really great advice about just keeping my cool and
Right.
and getting my head right.
Yeah.
And I really had his advice in my head when I was playing.
Oh,
So that was very helpful.
Definitely shout out to Alex, man, because dude, he actually beat Punko at there was like an after party for SCR that shout out to the homie Daniel from World 8 held, and Drunk Punko came salty and Myers beat him like twice. So shout out to Alex Myers for that. And it was on stream too. They were like streaming it and everything.
Yeah.
And Myers beat him like twice. And like definitely Myers is like one of those dudes I always see is just like, he always seems like he's not necessarily really worried about anything and like goes in and plays really, really hard. So shout outs to him for that, man. Really great player. Another one of the SoCal Wonder Kids, man.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, like doing it, man. Now, I know you got to head out to Wednesday night fights.
Yeah.
I want you to get out of here.
I was going to get a leg up, try to see what's up with Dawson, see the changes.
Exactly. But before you go, as always, let everybody know where they can find you on social media, man.
All right. So my main source, usually I'm on Twitter, and it's CMDR_Jesse, JESSE. You can find me on Facebook, Jesse Espinoza, and then on Instagram, it's on my Twitter. You can see it there.
Exactly. And it's all in the show notes. And as usual, folks, I've been your humble host, Milton. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Slovenly Gamer podcast. Thanks so much to the homie Jesse for coming through. Man, this was amazing. I hope you guys really dug it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to do a special season 2 episode. I gotta sit down and work something out about season 2 because I know there's going to be a lot of grumblings and there's going to be a lot of changes and there's going to be a lot of salt for season 2, man. But anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at Slovenly Gamer. You can follow me on Facebook at Slovenly Gamer as well. Go over and hit the like button. If you're listening on iTunes, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the show and spread the love. And folks, we're out of here. As a matter of fact, the music that you hear coming in right now, I actually chose this music because my homie's living the dream. And this is a track from Streets of Rage 2, and it's called Dreamer. I hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.